What does it mean to be human? Where is the line between person and machine? Or does the line even exist? No idea. I'm here to tell you about Synthesia. Alan here has a lot to say, and nothing but text to say it. Emails, presentations, tutorials, typing, typing, typing. It never ends. A giant, steaming pile of text. It's just not as engaging to read as it is to watch and listen. But with Synthesia, Alan can take that text and in just a few minutes, turn it into this.
In today's lesson, you will learn about how to set up for a perfect interview.
He doesn't need a camera. He doesn't need a mic. All he needs are some words and a browser.
Hello, Heidi.
Hello.
Alan would like to thank you for the call yesterday.
With Synthesia, Alan can give anything a face and a voice, including his own. And with a little extra work, he can create a custom avatar who looks and sounds just like him.
In this video, I will show some tips on how to connect more efficiently.
Or sounds like him in a different language.
Die Berichte für dieses Quartal sind da und sehen toll aus.
Our CRM system is a great source of information to learn about our customers.
Now, it's easy for Alan to share anything he can type.
Once you have the data, it is time to map the customer's journey to the purchase.
Synthesia, turning text into something much more human. Well, almost human.
We'll be cutting the YouTube screen. Okay, well, thank you. If you are joining us, that was our own product explainer video from Synthesia. You can find it on our YouTube channel. But if you're in the right place. We're talking about creating product explainers using Synthesia. So we just used our own product explainer to kick us off. We're going to get meta in this presentation, in this webinar today. And so that's just the beginning. Very excited to get you kicked off. If you're wondering if you're in the right place, let's start off with a why. So what you just saw was a product explainer video. I want to start off with two numbers that come to us from the WizOwl's 2022 social media marketing report. And that explain why you need explainer videos to explain your product. So the first number here on the left, we have 69%. So 69% of consumers prefer to watch a short video to learn more about a brand's product or services. And so what that means for us is that this is as opposed to them reading text on a website. This is them trying to figure out what your product does from an e-manual or brochure. That's text on screen. Most consumers prefer to watch a short video. And if we look here on the right, you can see that it says that 84% of people are saying that they've been convinced to make a purchase based on a brand's video. So why that's critical for us in this audience here is that somebody has actually made a purchasing decision based on the video that they saw. So you're in the right place if you know that explainer videos are important. If not, let us continue to show you how it's built. Maybe we can convince you along the way. So you're probably wondering, who are these two people who are talking to you on your screen today? I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Kevin Alster. I've been in learning experience for 10 years. That's me on the right, enjoying my cup of coffee. I've held all forms of learning roles, from content creator to learning designer. So I'm really obsessive over learning as a product and how people can get to learning better things faster. And currently my job as a learning strategist is to help you humans and me humans make better video. Our platform makes video making easier. It's my job to help inspire people to make video faster, better, stronger. And of course, I'm joined by my colleague here. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ellie. I am Kevin's counterpart here at Synthesia. I have been working in e-learning and instructional design for just over 6 years now. And my entire time in this field, I've been trying to find ways to take training and learning experiences and take them from being a little bit dry to being a little bit more fun. And I've had a lot of fun at Synthesia. And what I'm really focusing on right now is how to take our avatars here and help humans leverage their avatar counterparts. So how can we use our avatars in learning situations and in explanatory situations like these, and make them really impactful, but also have a little bit of fun with it. So yeah, that's me on the right, having a little bit of fun in the national parks in the US. And I'm excited to join you all today for, again, just a little more fun.
I think you said it at least 2 or 3 times, Ellie, making videos a little bit more fun. That's certainly what working with avatars has done for me, and it's made the video process a little bit more fun. So hopefully we can impart some of that fun onto you today as we go through. And Ellie will also be on hand to answer any questions that are popping up in the chat, or any sort of she has I'm speaking for you, I'm so sorry, but you have an expertise that I want to shout out in instructional design. And so if you're a learning designer on here trying to figure out how do you make videos, you can ask those questions here today as well. So with that, let's keep going on. Our mission here today is that we want to show you how we at Synthesia build a product explainer video. I know that a lot of you are probably familiar with animated explainer videos or different types of explainer videos, meaning maybe a process explainer or how to or problem solution explainer frameworks. But we want to show you how you can use our platform to quickly build a live action talking head product explainer video. The other part of our mission today, if you will, is to utilize a framework to write a script for product solution explainers. And I'll get into this in just a sec about why we're using this framework and maybe not something that you've typically seen across the web. So where we're headed today over the next 40 minutes or so is that we'll spend about 5 minutes analyzing effective explainer videos. We'll talk a little bit about the STRY or story framework for explainer video scripts. So I'll be going through what that means. We'll be spending the bulk of our time demoing how to build your explainer video. So if you're here just to see how the platform works, stay tuned. We'll show you what we're building in just a second, and then we'll show you how we built that in just a few quick clicks. And finally, we're going to wrap up, do a little bit of Q&A if there's time at the end, but we're very happy to answer any questions that might come up. Ellie's here to flag me down and wave me down so that I don't keep bumbling on, and make sure that we get answers to those questions. So feel free to drop those in the chat and we'll get those answered right away. So when we say a typical explainer framework that's on the web, if you do a Google search for product explainer videos, you'll probably see this framework pop up. And there's a good reason for that. It's because you have a lot of information that you're trying to boil down into a very succinct, quick explanation that's easy to understand. So how people typically do it is they write the problem, solution, benefit, and call to action. So you define the problem for your viewer, you have the solution, so you present your product, the benefit, if this works, what does it allow you to do? And finally, a call to action. What do you want your person to do next? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to click on a particular resource or get in touch with a representative? And so what we found is that in working with our customers who are making explainer videos is that they're missing a pretty critical key component. And so we've taken this framework and broke it down into a few more steps that help somebody actually think through the entire product explainer vision, so that you're not just going in and trying to create a product explainer without a plan. And so we feel that product explainers are missing something. And so what we've done is we're presenting our own framework, and this has helped some of our customers better think about how they organize their script and their story for a product explainer. And what better way to talk about a story than using the letters STORY. So ours is the story plus CTA framework, CTA standing for call to action. Let me go through what each of these letters stand for. So S stands for setting the emotion. You want to start your video off by triggering an emotion. As you could see in our own product explainer video at the beginning, it's people are bored. T is target audience. Who is being most impacted by that emotion? So you've triggered the emotion. Maybe the person who's being targeted or impacted most by the emotion is another person's audience, or it's the person themselves. The O is the obstacle, and we've defined that that's really your problem. You want to blank, but you can't because of blank. And then R is the resolution. You can solve your problem by, in most cases, by using this product or with these features. And Y is yes, it works. So now what? So it's kind of summing up the benefits in more of this broken up sentence starter where you're saying, great, because you've solved their problem, now you can do this and give them a call to action. Now, before we show off some examples, Ellie, I know that in particular, we've talked about the importance of the S and the T of product explainers, the setting the emotion and targeting the audience. Can you explain a little bit about, why we have those, why they're important for our video?
I think it's really impactful when you're using words to kind of pitch things to people, that you don't get caught too much in describing things or laying out lengthy scenes if you're not triggering a little bit of emotion. And I think that when you know exactly who you're talking to, and when you know how those people feel, you're going to be able to kind of pull at their heartstrings. It can be something like a tech demo, and if you are solving a problem, if you are making their lives easier, and you can emotionally connect to that, it goes so much further. And it's hard to hit that emotional impact if you don't know exactly who you're talking to. Like, target is the specific part here. Who exactly are we speaking to, and how can we kind of tug at their heartstrings, make them excited, potentially play off their anxieties a little bit? You're going to become invested immediately. You're going to be leaning towards your screen a little bit more than if you're just being shown a demo. So these two pieces really are critical in taking this from being a click through or a show and tell and turning it into something that's going to potentially change your life, even in the tiniest way. And that is always going to get people just leaning in a little bit more.
And just to jump off that, I think something you've identified that's so powerful is before you go into writing your scripts, before you go into storyboarding your content or your product explainer, you have to know who you're targeting. And in some cases, in most cases, you're going to have to make more than one product explainer video for your different types of audiences. And this is just to say, okay, I've pinpointed a specific person. I know how they feel, or whether that's a good thing or a bad thing that I want to target. And then how do I explain in a very simple way what it is that we do? So this STRY framework, we want to show you how this unpacks for several good examples that we want to take you through. So to get us started, we want to call forth one of my favorites. It's an oldie but a goodie, Headspace. It's very ubiquitous now. I think in 2020 they had over 4.2 million daily active users, so they're doing something right. But they released this product explainer back in 2017 when meditation was not as ubiquitous as it is now. And so you can see on the left, we've identified the STRY, and on the right, we have the actual product explainer video. So rather than tell you about it right off the bat, we're going to show you, and we're going to explain what we think works about this video and apply it to our framework. So here you go.
Meditation has been shown to reduce stress, to improve focus, and create the right conditions for healthy, restful sleep. Headspace is guided meditation for everybody, no matter who you are or what you do. Whether you're just starting meditating or whether you've been doing it for years, we can help you to train your mind for a healthier, happier life. To get started, visit headspace.com or download our app. Once you're all signed up, choose a topic you'd like to focus on. Let's see, sleep? Or maybe self-esteem? And we'll suggest the right exercises for you to try. If you enjoy them and want to learn more, then it's time to subscribe. When you do, you'll get access to hundreds of guided meditations from the Headspace library. There are bite-sized mini meditations for when you're short on time. Exercises to add mindfulness to everyday tasks, like commuting or running, and packs to help you with everything from relationships to sport or even sleep. With dozens of packs to choose from, Headspace is your personal meditation guide to just about everything.
Excellent. So some things we definitely want to call out about that is that, one, that product explainer is so easy to understand. It's very succinctly laid out. It's micro. It's just coming in at around 1 minute and 12 seconds. And then also it's so visually engaging, whether it's the animated characters or the sound effects, it keeps you hooked so that you're just watching it all the way through. So those are just 3 important characteristics to keep in mind. Now, if we think of the structure of this, we have that S, setting the emotion. The first thing that they do is they express that there's so much commotion in your daily life, whether you're stuck in a car, a traffic jam, and you're frustrated, or you're just trying to figure out how to be more mindful in your day. The target audience, or how we're targeting them, is that we say by controlling that commotion, it leads to better health, better sleep, more mindfulness, better thinking overall. That obstacle, what they want is, you want to meditate, but it's difficult to know where to start. If you're just getting started, who knows how to insert mindfulness into your daily routine? And so the resolution of this is that Headspace has a meditation program for everyone in every situation. And finally, the yes, it works is there's a program for every aspect in your life where you need it. So whether you have 5 minutes on your park bench, whether you're waiting for a friend, whether you are about to get ready for sports, there's something for everyone. And their call to action at the end, of course, is to click subscribe to to try out that the Headspace meditation app and see if it works for you. Ellie, is there anything that you saw in that explainer that you feel is worth calling out, or what makes that work so well?
I think this one is fantastic. And also, obviously, I think we're a little into it because it is talking about that emotional element. That's literally what they're selling, is how do we deal with our emotions? How do we manage our emotions? So this one like goes straight at the emotional piece. And I love that the target audience is everybody, but they still manage to like subtly point out who those people can be. It can be somebody who's never meditated before. It can be somebody who's meditated all the time. They name it so you recognize yourself in the explainer, whether you're one or the other. They manage to go broad, but they're still naming names. They're still picking specific people. They're showing athletes and grandmas and kids in school. You're in that explainer, whoever you are, which is very clever. And it's hard to do, but they do it really nicely. So you're still seeing that target audience is identified and some different emotions get named, even though they're talking about lots of emotions. They mention self-esteem. They talk about people who can't sleep. Like they do name them. So it may not be as direct as you might be thinking this framework has to be, but it's all in there. And so I think it's such a good example of this story framework. And then they tie it up really nicely and they say, go here, do this. And you're compelled because you recognize yourself there, you recognize your emotions there. And so, yeah, it's a really compelling one.
I think that's so interesting to call out, where it's, how do we tackle, we know that targeting the audience is important, but how do you do it when your audience is vague? You it sounds like you give people enough options so that they recognize themselves in that issue or that problem. Now, not to throw too much of a curveball your way, but do you think that everyone can create this type of animated product explainer video?
I mean, this is a different level of animation and explainer video. These guys have a brand that's instantly recognizable, and it's hard work. They've got a whole team of people who are doing this. I think there are tools out there for that, but I think that's why we're so excited about, our product and how we can do this. And we'll get into this. Definitely, we're taking away the need to be a designer, the need to be somebody who's got a full camera set up in their offices. This is a place that we're now kind of bridging the gap that everybody can make these beautiful, engaging, rapid pace videos. But yeah, this takes work, but the scripting, we're going to show you how to do that. And then the visual component, we're going to show you how to do that too.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you called it out. Animation is expensive. It takes entire teams. And if you're in the position where you don't have an agency or the budget at your beck and call, then animation is not going to be for you, but not to worry, we do have solutions for that as well. So on to the next example. I'm looking at the time, and so we're going to just buzz through this one really quickly. But this is Buffer. It's a product where it's about helping social media managers organize their different tools that they're using. As you can see, we have the STRY. Maybe you can see those on the left, and we'll play this video on the right, which is their product explainer, which again is short. It's only about 1 minute and 17 seconds. Give it a listen and let's see what there is to pull out.
Social media management is complex. You are a photographer, designer, video editor, community manager, an analyst. Yet, people think all you do is spend all day on social media. There has to be a better way, and there is. Buffer is a social media management platform built to streamline your workflows and showcase the value of your work. First, analyze your previous posts to see what's working. Know when to post, what to post, and how often to post. Once you're ready, plan and prepare your social media campaigns to increase your reach, engagement, and traffic. Then, jump straight to the posts that need your immediate attention. And never miss an important comment. Finally, repeat the cycle by analyzing your new posts. Measure the impact of your work and report your results so that your team understands the power of social media. Buffer helps you simplify your social media workflows, all in a single platform, so that you can focus on building your brand and maybe take that vacation day that you've been putting off.
All right, so that's buffer. Let's quickly go through the STRY of this. So we have setting the emotion. You can immediately see that they framed it as social media manager's job is complex and misunderstood, which is really frustrating. And I think they did something here, which is maybe a little bit clever, or feeding some of the uncertainty and doubt of social media managers. Is everyone thinks you're messing around on social media. It's frustrating. So they're really zeroing in on what is something that maybe all social media managers worry about in the workplace, which I think is a little bit mean, but also maybe a little bit honest. I'm not sure. I'm not a social media manager. As far as an obstacle for that user, you want to explain and optimize your social media strategy, but it's all different tools. So how do we coordinate all those? Okay, the resolution in this case is buffer. It allows you to put all the things in one place and synthesize the data to make your life easier. The yes, it works. You will have data, your colleagues understand your job, and you can now take a guilt-free vacation. I think it's interesting that they almost have, I think, Ellie, what I'd call like an emotional sandwich, where they start off with the emotion and they revisit that at the end. Again, I think it's a little bit mean in that it's, oh, you haven't taken a vacation? I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think it's brilliant. I think it, it's playing off of that emotion again. It's engaging people with a little bit of guilt and shame, but in this like delightful, cute way where this is different. We're targeting a very specific type of person, a person who does a specific job, and we're addressing, the way we talk about social media in our culture. And we're saying, we see you, we hear you, and we recognize that emotion, and we're going to help you solve it and make yourself get over it. It's amazing that you could do something. It's a software, and they're like, we're going to make you feel less guilty, and you get to take a vacation. That's brilliant. And again, they know exactly who they're talking to and those emotions. So I think it's very clever.
Yeah, I think also something to pull out here is that Buffer's approach was slightly different from Headspace in that they're a little bit more feature led, where they were showing off maybe mock-ups of the interface a little bit more than Headspace, which is more about kind of embodying or I guess personalizing or creating characters from the different emotions that someone might feel, or for the different activities. So this was very much, we're going to be very feature led. We're going to show off our product. So the last one we want to show you, and this is us showing you what we're going to create. So if you remember our mission was to create a Synthesia Explainer video. This is going to be different from our agency produced video. This is going to be different from Headspace in that we don't have the luxury of animations, but we want to show you an explainer video created all within our product using some of our avatars and some of the features such as our stock footage library. And this is where we are headed during our build time. So with that, without further ado, I'm going to play this video, and interested to hear your thoughts, Ellie, because I know you haven't seen this before, on what stands out to you. Did we hit the mark in terms of setting that emotion and targeting that audience? Does that sound fair?
I'm in. Let's see if I can analyze this.
All right.
Let's discuss the elephant in the room. Your new employees really hate onboarding. Let me explain why. A new employee on average has to read through 30 pages of text. That is a lot of reading. It's not as engaging to read documents as it is to watch and listen. All those PDFs and presentations are just not that fun to read. Using Synthesia, you can turn all that text into video in minutes. You don't need a camera. You don't need a studio. All you need is a browser. It is as easy as typing an email. Simply copy and paste your existing text and go from something like this to this.
Welcome to your IT security training. We're excited to get you set up on your new device.
And now that creating video is easy, you can spend more time creating quality training content. As fast as typing. Go to synthesia.io to learn more today.
Okay, so there you have it. Ellie, your thoughts? Maybe if you can tie this to the STRY framework. I know we have some of that text on the side, but interested to hear kind of what your take on this or your reaction.
I think it's fantastic because I have never related more to an eye roll in my life as a person who, came from a place where I used to work in libraries, full disclosure. So we loved paper, we loved documents. I had to read everything. And I've never related so much to stock photography as that woman who rolled her eyes. I completely understood that. And I saw myself immediately in this. And I think that taps into that boredom, like absolutely immediately addressing what it's like to be onboarded. We've all been there drinking from a fire hose. So yeah, the emotion is there, that boredom, the target audience, the new person starting their job. We've all been there. I feel like a lot of people can relate. The obstacle, how do you conquer mountains of paper and turn that into something worthwhile? It's daunting. I've done it as an instructional designer before. It's really clear from the video that there's this easy solution, fast solution, and I immediately am drawn to it. Obviously, I'm biased, but this is part of why I started working here. The product actually does those things. So yeah, I know that it works, and I hope that you guys will see that too. But this is it really does draw you in. The boredom cure is a compelling argument.
We will take it. Thank you very much. I think just adding on to a little bit of that, it's when you're thinking about the structure of this, I think it's important that the product explainer does a little bit of everything, where you spend enough time triggering your audience and tapping into an emotion, but then also showing off the features, or if you can show off that key feature. In our case, it's being able to copy and paste. We're a text to video platform, so we want to make sure that we show that. You copy and paste your text in, you click generate video, and then you get your video at the end. So without further ado, I know that we are a little bit pressed for time, so let's get to building. I want to get to building, and I want to show off the platform a bit, and I want us to be able to see how quickly we can turn a script into a video. Before I do that, this is going to be a resource that we share after this webinar, but this will take you through the full entire process. If you need help thinking of your next product explainer video, this will just break down in each of the 3 stages and take you from conception. So who is your target audience? What do they want to hear? And then all the way to writing out your script that you can just copy and paste into Studio or whatever video platform you're using to create your script and produce your video. But just in a quick minute, I want to take you through how we got from point A to point B, or really point A to point 1 to point 3, so that you can understand when we copy and paste and create the video, how we came up with our idea. So stage 1 of this handout is really about defining your goal of your video and your audience. I'm going to skip straight to the audience part, because the product explainer, this product explainer is made for this particular audience, which is HR professionals working in small to medium businesses with lots of legacy documentation and training for new hires. So by that, I mean, maybe the company's been around for 50 years. They're stuck sending emails, PowerPoints, and presentations as training. That's why it is boring, and that's why we're targeting them. Here, the next stage is what we've done is rather than jump straight into the outline or into the script, which can be intimidating, we're going to have you write just 1 sentence for each part of STORY. So 5 sentences that you can break out into the entire narrative, which is stage 3. So this is our entire script. It's been written out using the outline that we outlined up here. And from here, once I have a script that works for me, it's my job then to copy and paste into Studio. So I'm just going to take a second and get set up here, switch over to my browser so that you can see how we build a video from scratch. So just logging in and making sure that you can't see my password. All right. So I'm starting from, I'm going to start from the blank canvas. Of course, we usually advise folks to start with a template if it's their first time. I will be building from a template that I have created, but I want to show you how quickly you can build. So I know we said about 20 minutes, but I want to challenge Ellie. I think I can build this in less than 10 minutes. And I think it can be done. I know we can work quickly. So what I'd like you to do is keep me on track, keep me on time, please. But if you see something that you feel is an interesting design choice or something that I'm doing along the way, please call that out so that I can explain what I'm doing.
Will do. And if anybody can do this, it's you. So the gauntlet is thrown. Let's see. Let's see.
Sounds good. So I'm going to call this the product explainer example. And now that I've titled my video, let's get to building. The first thing I want to do is I want to start with a template, because I'm not a visual designer. A lot of the folks at Synthesia, we've done this for you already. So I'm just going into templates that I've created. And what I'm doing is I'm going to just add the different layouts that I want. So in this case, I want to start with showing off. I want to start with an avatar to welcome my viewer, get them engaged, let them see our product right away, and have something, some B-roll going on in the back. I want to include some blank slides. So maybe I can put in screen recordings there, or I can put in stock footage. So I'm going to put 3 in there. I'm going to take us back to the avatar. I'm going to punch in closer. Remember, I said, you know, you don't have to deal with that problem. You can do that. And what I really want people to notice is, as I go from this frame to this frame, is that you can do it as quickly as typing an email. So now we get into the product. And I want to show off the screen recording. Remember, I copy and pasted the text in. I'm going to include one more to show off that final video. Remember, that was the finished product. So you had our male avatar on screen saying, "Welcome to IT training." And then finally, I want to include the solution, or the "yes, it works, so now what?" So I want to show what you can do. In this case, you can spend more time on your training instead of typing out emails. I'm going to include one more ending there. And finally, a call to action slide. And I use this for everything. I use this for knowledge base articles. I use this for product explainer. So this one, I don't even worry about. It's ready to go. So with that, I'm going to now flip back and forth. And we said it's as simple as copying and pasting your script in. So now I need to do that. So I'm just going to copy and paste my script into each of these boxes. So you're just watching me copy and paste my script. This is the one part that we enjoy doing because it doesn't have to be formatted all the way. You can have quotation marks in there. Everything still works for you. All right, so here is where I cut back to the avatar saying, look, your problem doesn't need to be a problem. You can do all of this stuff as quickly as possible. And it's as fast as writing an email, as fast as typing an email, excuse me. All right. And here I'll be showing off how I copy and paste the text.
Very meta, you're copying and pasting the text while talking about copying and pasting the text.
We warned people that it was going to be meta, and you're absolutely right. Thank you for that.
We're doing it.
And sometimes I can't spell correctly, so I'm just going to adjust this so the avatar doesn't mispronounce that. So this is where I show the template. And finally, let me just put in my "yes, it works, so now what?" which was that now that creating video is going to be easy for you, you can spend more time creating the quality training content as fast as typing. And then we have our call to action at the end. Now, this was the first step, which is using a template. The second step is to copy and paste your script in. Something that I like to call out here if you're building video for the first time with Synthesia is that we like to keep things moving. So a tip that we always have, and I'll be rehashing these tips later, is that you should only include as much text as one thought. So maybe 1 or 2 sentences per slide. The reason being, you want to keep your audience engaged. You want to keep things moving. So you can see here, I've only put max 1 to 2 sentences per slide. Here I broke my own rule a little bit, but you can see I'll give myself a pass. Those are short sentences. So just one thought per frame. Now that we have this, it's time to add in some of our stock footage because I don't want to put text on screen. I don't want my viewers reading. we're text to video. I want to show video. So to do this quickly, I'm going to use our stock footage library. So I'm going to put in, this is mentioning new hires or new people onboarding. Let's see what happens when I type in new hire. Oh, great. So I have these folks right here. I'm just going to keep them there in the corner. Next, we're getting to a new employee on average has to read through 30 pages of text. That's a lot of reading. That person sounds bored. So I'm going to go into background videos and search our stock footage library. And let's just play this and see what it sounds like. Oh, and I'm seeing the watermark on here. That's on here for the preview, but once I hit generate video, it'll disappear. So let's see, what do we think about this?
A new employee on average has to read through 30 pages of text. That is a lot of reading.
What do you think, Ellie? You saw the final example, so obviously we're a little bit biased, but does it hit the mark? Does this person look bored?
We could not have directed him to react more appropriately. I relate in such an extreme way to that. If somebody handed me that much paper, I would not know what to do. Exactly.
All right, so I'm going through each of these little bits of text. I'm finding the appropriate stock footage. So if we look here, it says all those PDS presentations are not that fun to read. I'm going to keep going through the board library. Let's see. I don't quite. I'm trying to target a slightly more professional audience, and not to say this gentleman isn't professional, but I'm looking to target somebody who is working in an office and maybe not working from home as much. So I think this works a little bit better here. And I see, Ellie, whether you're doing it on purpose or not, maybe I'm boring you with this webinar presentation, but you've just matched the person's tone right there. So that's fun.
I am leaning into the video that I'm not bored. I'm just resting my chin because I'm leaning so far forward. I'm so excited.
Excellent. All right. So just adding this last bit of text in here. It says, so this is where I put in simply copy and paste. What I did beforehand is I want to show this off. I've done a screen recording before using our screen recording tool. So the way, just to call this out, we have a screen recorder. You use it very much like any other popular bit of software, so you can record your entire screen. You can see the different windows I've opened, or I just have the Chrome tab open. You just click share and it records the screen directly from your browser. But I did that in advance of our workshop here today.
Simply copy and paste your existing text and go from some.
As you can see, the screen recorder is designed so that when you start recording, it starts playing your text, so that maybe if you want to follow along and make a screen recorder, you can. But I pre-recorded my screen. Let's see what this looks like. This should mimic exactly what you've seen in the video.
Simply copy and paste your existing text and go from something like this to something like this.
Interesting. So I want to add just a bit of a pause there, just so that it's going to take a little bit of a break in between. Let's see how that sounds now.
Simply copy and paste your existing text and go from something like this to something like this.
All right. And this is where I now queue up that finished video. This is actually me stealing from one of our templates here. It's the case study template. It's a popular one. I'm just going to steal this first slide. And let's delete this. And let's just write in, welcome to IT security and training. So again, I'm just either using screen recording footage or stock. I'm using screen recordings or stock footage to keep from there just being text on screen. It's not as engaging as we've said. So I'm just going to copy and paste this last bit of text in so that it reads it off. Let's see what that looks like now.
Welcome to your IT security training. We're excited to get you set up on your new device.
Excellent. So I see that the background is playing, the stock footage is playing, the animation is playing. The reason the avatar isn't moving, because I know that looks a little bit distracting, is that your video has to render. We had to click this generate video button for the avatar to figure out what the text is saying in order so that they can figure out how to map their mouth. Finally, let's put in our last 2 little bits here. Just copying and pasting this little last bit of script. And one more, as fast as typing. Okay, so here we want just a little bit more stock footage to show off what the text is saying. We're still on board, but I like this man typing on his computer. I think it looks like he's spending more time creating quality training content.
And now that creating video is easy, you can spend more time creating quality training content.
Excellent. And last thing here I'm just going to add is typing. Still in all caps. Let's drop in the one that we saw, a person typing on their screen. Is there anything else that we would like from here? No, I think this works. The last thing that we love to shout out is that you can add music from our stock music library. So I'm going to add some music just to tie everything together. And let's see, we can sample the different types. This doesn't quite feel like a learning video, so I'm going to stop that. I see your shoulders are already moving, Ellie. That tells me that maybe we've engaged you as the viewer on something you should use. So we'll just hit use. And our last step here is to click generate video. One last thing to call out here is that you can include captions with your product explainer if accessibility is a concern of yours. It's turned on default by because we like to make sure that folks have captions and can read along with our videos. But the last step is to click save and process video. And there we have our finished product explainer. So I'm going to pause real quick there. Ellie, can you tell us anything that you noticed, anything that you feel like is worth calling out about that video creation process or how this works from your perspective?
I mean, it's fast, and I'm impressed because I know that we had so much set up, but ahead of time for this. But really, you know, if you're starting from scratch with our little worksheet and then going into this, like, it really can be about this fast. Like, obviously we're speeding it up to warp speed, but it really is that easy to kind of plug and play. And the libraries that we have available to you really do offer these emotional videos and things. You can see we're not just cherry picking, like there's a lot of options in there. So it is really easy to do that. And also just the fact that it doesn't always have to be an avatar on screen. You've got lots of ways to be bringing in different visuals and keeping people engaged and moving them quickly. So keeping that emotion that we said at the beginning, like, you can maintain it the whole way through, but the whole process is, you know, not maybe as fast as Kevin is like a quick draw in this way, but you know, it's pretty fast. And the time it took you to watch this webinar, you could very, very easily put out something as slick as what he just made.
Oh, I appreciate those compliments. I'm trying to let my head not get too big here. But as Ellie said, this is a rapid video content creation tool. So if you have your scripts, if you have your text, it's really as easy as copying and pasting that text in. Just as a quick recap or reminder, we have our STROI framework, our story framework, plus CTA or call to action. The S was set that emotional trap. In our case, it was your employees are bored. You don't, as an HR specialist, you don't want your employees to be bored with your training material because they might miss something that's important for your company or an important process. That T was target audience. So who is being impacted the most by this emotion of being bored? It's the employees that you're trying to train up. You have your O, that's the obstacle. You want to have something more engaging, but you can't because of all this text, this big steaming pile of text. R, that resolution. You solve the problem by using Synthesia to copy and paste your text in and create video. The Y, or yes, it works. So now what? That's really about if you can create engaging videos easily, now you can spend more time focusing on developing new content that's engaging. And that call to action at the end, hey, go to synthesia.io to learn more about our product. Just 3 quick tips. I always love to put the rule of 3s at the end. Step 1, whenever we talk about working with Synthesia Studio, start with a template. I know it saved your life, Ellie, my life as well. we want to build quickly. And we have templates for every use case, and we've got more templates just around the corner. Tip number 2, 1 thought per frame. This really goes back to engagement. You need to keep your videos moving. You need to keep your product explainer. You have to keep your product explainer interesting. You only have a little bit over a minute to get your thoughts right. So have a new image, 1 thought per frame, something new every time. Tip number 3, this is one of our favorites. Use stock footage in place of text on screen. Nobody likes to read. I think you have the advantage of Ellie and I talking with you here. So it makes our explanation a little bit better. But when you're trying to nab somebody's attention, nobody wants to read. Show, don't tell. Use our stock footage or use a screen recording to get your point across. So with that, that's the close. We'll be posting this recording for those of you who are still interested in recapping what we said. We'll also be sending out the explainer worksheet that has all 3 sections. But just wanted to thank you for your time with us today, and thank you for attending. And if there's any questions we can answer, now would be the time to do that. Ask those in. So Ellie, any questions, interesting questions that come in the chat, just pass them on through.